This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
And boom!
Common man, no show prep, no solid plan. Spins a yarn, it gets a tale. The esoteric approach won't fail. Tune in, it's time for Common Man. Common man, charms the housewives like no one can. What'd you shoot? Where'd we play? Non-stop nonsense on deck today. Tune in, it's time for Common Man.
Oh boy! Why should anybody aspire to be a common man, an average man? Do you realize what it means to be average? That means you're the best of the lousiest, and the lousiest of the best. Now, if we demand more and more for producing less and less, while the have-not nations encourage and inspire and indeed require hard work and maximum effort, if we deify the common men while they encourage and reward the uncommon ones, well, the end result of such a lopsided race as that is too obvious to require elaboration.
I mean, it's like, hello?
Yeah!
Little Cubbies versus Little Tigers, bottom of the third inning. Little Johnny up to bat. Little Billy, the pretend pitcher for the Little Cubbies. Little Billy pretends to pitch. Little Johnny swings, and it's a dribbler to second base, and it goes by Little Aaron through to the gap. All 9 Little Cubbies chasing after it. The right fielder, Little Danny, laying on the ground, playing with dandelions. He won't get there. Maybe the right center fielder, Little Kenny, will. No, it goes by Little Kenny, too. All the Little Tigers will score, except Little Johnny. Little Johnny is running the wrong way. The man that hit the dribbler to the gap is going the wrong way. He's rounding second, but in the opposite direction. Pandemonium here on field number 3. It all comes down to this. Little Cubbies, their final at bat here at the T-Ball World Series. Little Brendan up to bat, 2 inside the park home runs today. On his way to another MVP season. You'll remember he was the MVP of spring T-Ball. They switched teams for the summer T-Ball league, and Little Brendan still able to produce. His Little Cubbies down by 1 here with 2 outs in the final inning. Here's the fake pitch from Little Tigers closer, Little Jack, and it's a long fly ball to deep center field. Has Little Brendan done it again? Yes, he has. Touch them all, Little Brendan. The Cubbies win the T-Ball Summer League World Series. Little Cubbies all over the field, mobbing Little Brendan. It's a walk-on. Cookies, gummy bears everywhere. Little Brendan's dad, the coach, getting a juice box shower, doused with juice boxes, and it's Little Mike Doss Jr. doing the honors. Good to hear from Little Mike Doss Jr. Lost earlier in the season when he tripped over third base when he was supposed to run to first. Little Mike Doss Jr. can't be held down. What a day here at the T-Ball Ball Yard.
He's the clown from Brown. He's the 4th in the North. This is the Common Man, Dan Cole.
And so how underwhelming was the announcement that the biggest concert in the history of Minnesota, and it turns out to be it's Paul McCartney. Then all of a sudden, it's biggest announcement in the history of the Power Trip. And I'm like, whoa, what's going on there? Is Meat Sauce going to get a frontal lobotomy? And then it turns out to be it's another trip to Vegas. It's like, I don't even know where this stuff comes from. I know where the smoke comes. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry, we're on the air. Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center. It's Vikings. It's our continuing coverage of Vikings Training Camp 2025. You know what I've decided? Tell me if you like this idea. It's just an idea. I want to run it past you, the producer. Anytime we're on location, we'll just call it live from.
Live from. I like it.
So, like, we're live from Vikings Training Camp, live from the State Fair, live from wherever it is. So I think we should start doing that. I think it'll catch on eventually, and maybe we should get that trademarked. We're live from Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center, a.k.a. the new Winter Park. I'm the Common Man, Dan Cole. He is Tennessee. It's windswept and smoke-filled and very hazy. You know, Tennessee, if it's this hazy and smoky here, what's it like in Canada right now? Can you even leave the house? I mean, because it is, you look at it, and it's, I mean, again, I don't know. I think they call it, it's unhealthy for
air quality alert.
Air quality alert, and I think unhealthy for people that are sensitive to these kinds of things. Like if you have asthma, you're not supposed to leave the house. You got to stay inside. Or if you're elderly, here's what I don't know. Am I considered elderly or not? Where is the elder? I mean, I know you think I'm elderly because you're hip now with it and wow. I bet Blake more thinks you're elderly.
I'm sure he does, yeah.
So I think to myself, well, where's the elderly? Where do we draw that line? I'm
65.
Is it 65?
I always felt that was the line.
Yeah, well, that's the way I used to feel, too, when I was your age. And now I think it's more, I would say 75 like Rosen, but then he's in bed. Well, he's a miracle of modern
he's
science.
different.
He's just
he's built different.
That's exactly right. So he's different. So to me, it's like 75, but like, should I really even be out here breathing this air for the next 3 hours?
Well,
I don't know.
I do find it amusing because when did these Canadian fires start? This has only been like a 2-3 year thing, right?
Yeah, that I can recall.
Right. So I remember the first time it happened, let's just say it was 3 years ago. The first time it happened, like during the summer, like the Baseball Association's like, we can't play any games tonight, can't have any practice, it's too dangerous to be out there. Now it's happened so many times since then that like they don't even care anymore.
No.
Like, oh, no, everything's on. We're not even considering canceling the game tonight.
And so now, right now, I breathe deep the gathering gloom as the Moody Blues once sang song. I mean, I just don't know.
We might want to help them out up in Canada. They need some money. Yeah. They need some money to fix this thing.
I don't know what they can do. I mean, I mean, a lot of people think they should be the 51st state. I mean, maybe if they were the 51st state, we could fix that. In one day in office, I will stop the forest fires.
Can we create some sort of like big fan at the border that just blows it right back at them?
Well, that's not a half bad idea. But I just don't know if it's conceivable. It'd be like building a wall.
Yeah.
I guess is what it would be like. Players are out on the field, Tenby. They are not in pads. They are. That's later today, I think, at 2:30, right? I mean, I still don't understand the practice schedule. I thought it was always 2:30, but they're out here on the field now. Nobody's wearing pads. They're just in shorts and jerseys, and they're playing not pickleball, but they're playing a keep away.
Yeah, what are they doing over here?
They're playing keep away.
They're in a circle.
Yeah. It's hot potato. That's what they're playing. It's a game of hot potato. It's a child's game is what it is. So they're doing that, and there will be practice out here today. We have We'll mix and match some things out here. For instance, our guest at 1 o'clock, or right around 1 o'clock, is scheduled to be Vikings wide receiver coach and former National Football League wide receiver Keenan McCardle. He had a decorated career, Tenby. He played 17 years in the league, and if I'm not mistaken, I think he won 2 big games. He's got a couple of rings. I think he won one with Tampa Bay, and maybe with Washington.
Yeah, the Washington one, he wasn't even really playing. Okay. He just got a ring because it was like his rookie year.
Yeah, he was drafted by Washington, but he did win one with Tampa Bay. Had a very nice...
He was actually drafted in the 12th round back then.
Think about that.
Yeah.
Back when they had much more than just the 7 rounds. I think he came on board while Zimmer was still the coach, but when Zimmer and Spielman were both shown the door and given their walking papers, it was announced that McCardle would stay on as the wide receivers coach. So we'll talk to him. I think didn't we have him on last year, maybe the year before?
Yeah, we've had him on.
Yeah, we've had him on before. So I look forward to that. So we will talk to him. Also, J.J. McCarthy is scheduled to, at roughly 1 o'clock, to speak to the assembled media at the interview podium right outside of TCO Performance Center, about, I would say, 150 yards from us. No, wait, 120. The field with the end zones are 120. This is another 20, 140. Yeah, I say 150, 160 from us, somewhere in that nature.
8 iron?
8 iron, I would say. Well, maybe for you, I'd probably have to hit a 7 for me, where we're at right now. And with the wind coming in our face, I'd have to hit a little more. But nevertheless, I mean, what we'll do is, because McCardle will be here live and we're conducting the interview, we got more play or more leeway with McCarthy. So we'll certainly record the McCarthy interview at worst case, or the Q&A with McCarthy, and we'll play that back. So we got and then, of course, the legendary Mark Rosen, who's built different. He will join us here at about 2 o'clock or so. You know, to me, sports talk radio is very complicated, fast-paced, shifting gears kind of an industry. There's always something that you have to take into account. And, you know, I programmed a lot of radio stations. I've never talked to a station, full disclosure, I've never programmed a sports talk station, but I've recorded, programmed a lot of radio stations in my radio career. There was a time I was programming 5... Okay, I programmed 3 radio stations, but 5 sounds like more than 4. And so I understand, much like Denny understands weather patterns, Calcutta Clipper, I understand programming. And I think being out here today is a big mistake.
Why's that?
Lynx Liberty tonight at the Bullseye.
Yeah.
Why? That's where we should be. We should be at the cage right now. I know it's hours before the game, but, I mean, this is great. I love being out here, and we love the Vikings. We hang our hat on the purple. We have a great working relationship with them. But this is just practice, as they like to say. This is a big game tonight. Lynx and Liberty playing 4 games this season, and is it really 3 games in a row? It's almost like a best 2 out of 3.
It's 4 of the next 7.
Yeah, there's bad blood. We know that. It went to is it a 5th and decide? They didn't play 7 game series. They play 5 game series, right? Or is it 7 in the finals?
I think it was 5, but
that's what I thought.
It went all the way. It was at the decisive game.
It was the decisive game. It was I think the 5th and deciding game. And I don't remember. Maybe your memory, I think, isn't great, but I think it's still better than mine, which ain't saying much. It was controversial. I don't know if it was a foul that was called on us that Cheryl and the team thought shouldn't have been called on us, or we thought one should have been called on them, or whatever the case may be.
If I recall, I thought it was Fee, Fee, and I thought there was one where the foul should have been called on her late and would have given us the insurance bucket, I think, to put them away. And
then it went to OT, right? And then we lost, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Lost 67-62. It was a 5-game series.
And Cheryl made no bones about it. She basically said we had the championship taken from us. That's just, and she didn't just say that in the heat of the moment and then later back down on that. She's insisted on that to this day. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know how much they talk about it anymore. I don't know if it'll be a topic of conversation in the locker room prior to the game. You wouldn't think it would need to be. I think anybody that was with that team last year understands what happened and how bitter they are about it, the chip on their shoulder, and how much they're using that as, motivation. I don't know. The kid once said, bad blood is bad. Well, how'd the kid say it? Bad blood's bad blood.
You carry it.
You carry it. It's motivation. And so I think that's what the Lynx will do tonight. But that should be, if you like, rivalries. It's 2 teams that certainly don't like each other very much. So, and my guess is it will be an amped up atmosphere there, and it will be. I know this is such a cliche, but it'll be a playoff-like atmosphere tonight, and I think it probably will be because it's. I think both teams probably feel like we're probably going to meet each other again. So this is kind of a way to maybe establish we're one up on.
Set the tone.
Yeah, set the tone. If you're able to win 3 of the 4. That looks pretty good. If you split them, then all of a sudden all bets are off. But Chad Abbott makes the decisions on programming. He wanted us to be out here, and this is fine. It's closer to my house. Trust me, it's okay by me. But had I been in making decisions, we'd be there at the cage tonight. But a game you'll hear on this radio station.
Of course.
Yeah, of course.
And on the Lynx channel on the iHeartRadio app.
On the iHeartRadio app. Another thing I wanted to bring up, Timby, what I find is interesting here is, we are in the friends and family.
Yes.
Oh, is the music playing?
Yeah.
Oh, we want to break already?
Well, this is break time.
How about time flies?
That was one of those magical first segments like we had at
it is. It's
Hazeltine the other day.
It's 12. Federated guy, when we went to break, he said that was magical.
Yeah.
He thought that I was Mandrake the magician and you were Harry Houdini. Even though Harry Houdini really wasn't a magician, he was an escape artist, and we escaped Hazeltine just in the nick of time. We'll take a break. Come back with more. It's our continuing coverage of Training Camp 2025 TCO Performance Center, and our coverage continues right after this, right here on The Fan.
If you want to chime into what's happening with your favorite KFAN shows, you can make your voice heard on the Bradshaw and Bryant KFAN text line. So let us know what you have to say by texting your message to 64686. That is 64686. Standard text message and data rate supply.
Live from Vikings Training Camp, Twin Cities Orthopedic Center, a.k.a. the New Winter Park. Looks like the squad is split up and 3 different groups today, or certainly 2 groups, and they're right now out on the field going. I'm really not even sure what they're doing, some walkthrough stuff. Remember, at this point, I think later today they're doing pads. Maybe I was wrong. That's what I thought I read, but right now they're just doing JJ's the only guy with a helmet on. Everybody else is just in jerseys. in shorts, and they're
We
going,
got offense, defense on this side, and then
Yeah.
special teams on the other side.
I think that's exactly right. I think you're a sharp national.
They're
football
walking
mind.
through plays.
Yeah, they're doing some walkthroughs.
Why does JJ wear a helmet right now, though?
Because I think
Maybe he's got to hear the call, maybe in his headset.
either
practice
that could be, or maybe you just like being used to throwing the ball with a helmet on because it's probably a bit more
But he ain't
cumbersome.
throwing.
Well, I saw him throw one
did he throw
pass.
it?
Yeah, I thought
Okay.
I saw him throw it. Let's see. He's
Shotgun.
Let's see if we can go down to our. He's back. Is he going to throw? No, you're right. He doesn't throw. He's just standing there. Look at that. He's showing a lot of indecision to me there,
No,
Tennessee.
he just threw it left-handed.
Kennedy, he showed a lot of indecision.
Yeah,
there to me.
I mean,
looked
he held on
left,
to way
he
too
looked
long.
Right, he held on. He never let go of the ball.
But, I mean, the blocking there, I mean, there was no pressure at all
No,
on him.
and
I mean,
that's
that
what
was just phenomenal by
that's
the
what
offensive
I
line.
just don't understand. I'm already having my doubts about this kid. By
But
the way,
Darisaw's out there.
yeah. A peek at the purple, brought to you by our friends at Affordable Electric. I had Nick over today, as a matter of fact, to look at some, firm up a couple of electrical issues that I have, putting in a new laundry room light, and putting in another a couple of other things, doing some work over at the Common Man's place. And Nick told me that they're really busy, and they not only need a journeyman electrician, they're looking for apprentice electricians. You get benefits. You get competitive pay. Get a truck. I mean, there's a lot going on over at Affordable Electric. So if you are an apprentice or journeyman electrician and you're looking for work, go ahead and go to their website, affordable-electric.com. Affordable-electric.com. And remember, Affordable Electric is shockingly affordable. It's going to be one of those list stories that I like. This is from CBS Sports. They're the king of list stories. This one says, tend to be ranking 10 biggest wild cards entering the 2025 NFL season. And not wild card teams, just wild cards as far as teams or units or players, whatever the case may be. I'll give you an example. They have at number 10, Michael Penix Jr.
Yeah.
It says the selection of Penix Jr. in the 2024 NFL Draft was arguably the most shocking pick of the entire three-day spectacle. Now Atlanta has fully turned the keys of the organization over to him, and the former Washington quarterback will enter his second season in the league as a full-time starter. Then it goes to talk about what's around him, what's at stake, blah, blah, blah. Number 2 would be the Denver Bronco offense. Number 8 on that list is San Francisco 49ers wide receiver room. That's a wild card.
That's an interesting one right there.
And then at number 7, J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Here's what they write. The Minnesota Vikings are coming off a 14-3 season in 2024, which was the second highest win total in franchise history. Despite that, the franchise enters 2025 with a massive question mark at quarterback after letting Sam Darnold, who threw for over 4,000 yards and 35 tutties last season, walk in free agency. The organization is handing the offense over to 2024 first-rounder J.J. McCarthy. The Michigan product was sidelined for his entire rookie season due to a knee injury, eliminating the possibility of him challenging Darnold for the starting job. Fast forward to today, McCarthy's back to full strength and the unquestioned starter. While his status as QB1 isn't up for debate, how he'll perform once he's under center certainly is. Fortunately for McCarthy, the Vikings are arguably the best equipped team in the NFL to usher in a young quarterback thanks to their elite skill position players, sturdy offensive line, stout defense, and guru of a coach in Kevin McConnell. Did PA write this or did you? That sets him up nicely to carry the baton from 2024 and maybe even bring the Vikings to new heights if he's as advertised. However, we won't truly know what Minnesota can be in 2025 until he's under center taking snaps. And I guess that does sum it up. And, I think most observers, especially locally here, I get the feel that fans and media alike and the team feel like they're set up for success with the acquisitions they made in free agency, with Dallas Turner. They figure will be ready to take a step. I think because the coach is basically been categorized as a quarterback whisperer, that he's like Midas, whatever Midas touch turned to gold. Whatever quarterback works under Kevin O'Connell is going to be a really talented player and is going to go a long way. It's sort of reminds me of, we talk about the Twins in the preseason when all the pull-out pocket protectors are talking about deep and talented everyday lineup, deep and talented starting rotation, deep and talented bullpen. This team's going to be really good, and then it never pans out. I just say that the comparison about the optimism, because we talk about a deep and talented defense with that's aggressive but not reckless under B-flow. We talk about the acquisitions they made on both sides of the line, the interior of the offense and the defense, and an extra running back and the quarterback whisper. I'm more willing to buy into the hope they're selling here at Winter Park than the hope they sell over at the Goose that laid the golden egg.
I saw this tweet from Dan Orlovsky today. He's, him, former Lions quarterback, but he's a well-respected analyst for ESPN. And I know just up to the last year or two, I know he loves KOC because he's always talking highly about KOC. But here's what he tweeted today. Ryan Kelly, Will Fries, Jonathan Allen, Javon Hargrave. Both lines are better. Top 5 play-calling tandem, O'Connell and Flores. If JJ is a league average starter, the Vikings will be in the NFC title game. All we need is average quarterback play from J.J. McCarthy, and according to Orlovsky, we're in the NFC Championship.
Did he say who they would face in the NFC Championship? Because I'll take it a step further.
Oh, you will?
I think it's going to be the Vikings and the Falcons in the NFC Championship game, and you're on your own.
On your own after that,
On your own after that. Well, that's, what's interesting is everybody points to, it seems like everything starts with Vegas odds makers. That's the first thing people look at. Well, they got the 8.5 as the over and under for the Vikings, right? And people seem to be at least surprised, I think, to put it mildly here in this town. Just some people are actually shocked and dismayed. How can you only say 8.5 games? And I don't think I'm shocked and dismayed, but I do think they're set up. And again, it's buying a lot of hope. And you know me, I got all sorts of walking around money to spend on hope. I buy a lot of it. I tend to think they should be able to eclipse that 8.5 without much trouble. But it seems as though most of the national prognosticators or so-called experts, I think they're kind of underselling the Vikings a little bit. And I think Orlovsky is one of the exceptions. And I think you're going to start seeing that a little bit. Is there going to be people that want to be, because everybody wants to pick the team that nobody's really looking at. I think we're going to start seeing more of that because what he writes there, again, until I see, you and I have talked about this forever. I understand that the players they acquired in free agency all have pretty good report cards. They've had nice careers. They're coming back from injuries, and players can have up years and down years, and how healthy the team stays. But yeah, NFC Championship game. It's a lot of good teams in the NFC. That would be when you talk about your Phillies and your Washingtons, and I think San Francisco's bound to have
the Phillies play baseball,
year.
By the way.
Or did I say Phillies?
I'm joking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The Eagles, the Rams. I mean, they're even looking in our division itself with Green Bay and Detroit. There's a lot of really good football teams, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. Peek at the Purple, brought to you by our friends at Affordable Electric. If you're a apprentice or journeyman electrician and you're looking for work, they're looking for you. Go to affordable-electric.com, affordable-electric.com, and remember, Affordable Electric is shockingly affordable. Back with more after this here on The Fan.
Minneapolis, get ready. Music legend Paul McCartney is bringing his Got Back tour to US Bank Stadium October 17th. Tickets are on sale now. One night, one icon. Don't miss it. Full details available at KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
A special edition of Live from Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center, the new Winter Park, is our continuing coverage of Vikings Training Camp 2025. And Teneby, it looks like that the Vikings are working on the 2-minute drill right now. Let's go down to the field. We have J.J. McCarthy wired, mic'd up. Let's see how this 2-minute drill is progressing.
Wow.
Did you hear the laces cutting through the
I've
wind?
never heard anything like it.
If you could find even a more powerful missile sound, something that's like supersonic, supersonic, if you could do
for a longer pass.
Yeah, for a longer pass. Something really, because I think that people get the gist of the bit, but I think it needs to even be more over the top.
Sure.
It has to be, it's
not over the top enough.
Yeah, for us, it's not over the top enough. Now, again, that's fine. It was well done, but if you can just, hunt around, hunt and peck, no hurry. You know how we are. We're pretty loose on this show. We really don't care about those kinds of things. As a matter of fact, I was going to say to you earlier before the first break, they call this area friends and family, where friends and family members of the Minnesota Vikings get to sit inside the Lumen. They're like hospitality tents you would see at a PGA Tour, right? And they're air conditioned, and there's food, and there's verandas and patios, and it's a wonderful place to be. And it's called Friends and Family, and that we're allowed to park in the Friends and Family area. Do you think PA says extended family on his pass? Because that's what I would guess, because he's extended family. You and I, you might be on the family part now. I'm still think I'm just friends. I don't think I'm extended family yet or family. But I'm
like that fourth cousin that they don't even really know exists.
Yeah, maybe that is it. Yeah, maybe that's what it is for you. But but the family and friends, and we're excited and delighted to be here. Teddy, I watched the Minnesota Twins baseball again last night. I don't know.
Did you?
Yeah, I don't know what's bringing me to. Well, you know what it was? The celebration from the night before, after the 90-minute rain delay, when Brooks Lee had a game-winning walk-off single, and the celebration was like nothing I've ever seen before. So I thought, well, this team must really be making some strides, and they're ready to make some kind of a run. And then I was very disappointed last night. Tennessee Twins lose 8-5, though Brooks Lee was brilliant again. Wasn't even scheduled to play. Then out of nowhere, I don't know how this happened, but Carlos Correa, who had started the game, Brooks Lee's on the bench. He's not even expecting to play. It's a night off for him. He's got his feet kicked up. He's not expecting to go in the game. He's eating sunflower seeds or whatever the case may be. All of a sudden, Carlos Correa comes down with a migraine, a toothache, and an ear infection all in the same game, and they have to pull him out.
Who would have thought?
And then Brooks Lee.
I heard he got some bug bites,
and
too.
he had some bug bites.
Yeah.
Brooks Lee comes into the game, and he's like, it was unbelievable. He hit 2 home runs, only the 6th Minnesota Twin in franchise history to hit 2 home runs, one from either side of the plate, one right-handed, one left-handed in the same game. Only 5 of the Twins have accomplished that feat. He drove in, I think, all of the runs last night.
He did.
And yet the Twins ended up losing that game 8-5. Who was the youngster? Was his name Oil or is it Oil?
I don't know how you pronounce it, but it's spelled OHL.
Yeah, OHL, so it might be Oil.
And he's already been sent down to St. Paul today.
In his first inning must have been a dream come true, right? Because, they traded Paddock, and Paddock was scheduled to pitch last night. So they had to bring somebody up. The kid from St. Paul, I think he gave up a double in the first inning, but he struck out. All 3 outs he recorded were strikeouts. And then I think the second inning went okay, and then the third kind of got away from him, and the Twins ended up losing 8-5. But as you pointed out in our pre-show prep, as we were sitting here kibitzing back and forth, Correa apparently is out again today.
Yeah, just happened to miss again.
Yeah, and it's like, now I don't know if it's just a coincidence that he's got migraines, a toothache, and an ear infection, and his name is also being bandied about in the rumor mill as being traded to the Astros.
Yeah.
I don't know if that has anything to do with it.
No, I'm sure not.
Just a coincidence, right?
Yeah. Just happened to have a migraine.
What reminds us of, was it last year with Hawkinson, right? What happened there again now?
Ear infection.
Yeah.
Was that 2 years ago?
Yeah, 2 years ago. He was waiting for a new contract is what he's waiting for.
A 2-week ear infection.
Yeah, he had a 2-week ear infection. So they've decided to go with the migraines because apparently word has it that the Houston Astros, who are in the thick of things as they try to fight for a division title or at least a wild card spot and get in the playoffs, they still love Carlos. They love him. Nobody bangs the trash can like Carlos. So they're thinking about trading for him. Tennessee, you and I have talked forever about the Twins and how it's basically they're a penny pinching organization. They don't spend a lot of money. I'm assuming there were people that would think I would be appalled by the idea of trading, arguably when he's playing at his best, may be the best player in the Twins, or certainly one of the top 2 or 3 players, that I would be appalled that they would be trading him. I'm not in any way, shape, or form. He has underachieved here for the most part. He is making way too much. If you're looking at that's the one thing about Major League Baseball. You're never really paid on what's expected from you. You're getting paid on past performance. And because he was such a really good player, is that contract something like $230 million? I think it is over however many years it is, 5 years, 6, whatever. But it's a big.
He's making like what, 36 a year?
I think that's what it is. It's a big contract.
Yeah.
But having him on the roster isn't really making that big of a difference in the win-loss column that I can see. He's been injury-riddled. He's had slumps. We know in the playoffs, was it 2 years ago, when he was really good, and he basically carried us late in the season. But if the Twins can get something for him in a trade, that's why, for me, see, it's not always just, spend as much money you can or save as much money you can. I think you have to take each situation and each individual player individually. That's how you have to look at it. And in this case, I would I would think financially and the on-field product, I would have no problems with them.
It's hard to imagine you're going to get the full worth of that contract moving forward.
Right.
By the way, I had never heard anything, no rumors about Carlos Correa being traded until I heard it on the comment program. So I just want to let it be known that we were the first to suggest, why aren't we... because they're talking about all the relievers and Duran and Griffin Jacks and Willie Castro and was it Bader or France? I'm like, why aren't we considering trading Carlos Correa? A guy, and I didn't know if there was any takers at that point, but if you are going to have a self-imposed salary cap like the Minnesota Twins have, having $30-some million tied up to a guy who really hasn't produced a whole lot since he's been here, other than a little bit of a stretch in the playoffs for you a couple years ago, but for the most part has not lived up to it. You don't know health-wise if he's going to be able to be, if that's sustainable moving forward. So out of anyone, that's the one they should be trying to sell the most. Try to get out of it while you can. And it appears as if they're trying to do that.
Well, and you talk about the age of Aquarius with the moon in the 7th house and Jupiter aligning with Mars. The Astros all-star third baseman suffered a hamstring strain back in the middle of July, a couple of weeks ago, a week and a half ago. And the numbers that he was posting, where did they go? I had them here. 259, 359, 470, 130 ops, plus 19 home runs, 49 walks in 94 games. You probably understand. I know one of those numbers is average. I don't know the other ones. They sound like really good numbers. He's an all-star. He could be out for a while. So with the Astros currently in first place, they are, in the running to have the best record in Major League Baseball. The circumstance, it's almost like it's just working out in the Twins' favor. The rumors are, in general, most of these rumors, some are unsubstantiated, as we know. They come out to be, they're just people throwing stuff against the wall. I've done it before. We did the great one during the NBA trade deadline where we said we heard about a proposed trade, and then some guys at the Phoenix radio station said they'd heard from good NBA sources, and they just copied the exact trade we said. We just made the whole thing up. It was highly entertaining. But this seems like it would be exactly what Houston would be looking for, because they're not afraid to spend money. They're a large market. When you're in first place and have an opportunity for the best record in the American League, you're all in. And so it could be the timing with the hamstring strain to their all-star third baseman,
and it's someone they're familiar with.
Exactly. Yeah. This could be just perfect for the Twins, and I would be all for them parting ways with Carlos Correa.
Well, it sounds like Carlos Correa has either no move clause or no trade clause, and the reports are today that he's only willing to sign off on going to Houston. That would be the only place he'd want to go. There was also a report a little bit ago that Twins and Astros are far apart on agreeing to a deal. My guess is I think the Twins are going to get very little in return. Like, this is just a salary dump. The less you get in return, the less salary you have to take on when you're giving Correa away. And I think that's where probably the discussions are right now, is Houston's trying to get the Twins to take as much salary as they can. Twins are trying to get as much salary off their books.
That would make sense.
And so it might be like Carlos Correa for a guy in single A who's batting 243, and not even really a high prospect, but for the Twins standpoint, just to get rid of as much money as they can.
Yeah, and you and I talked about this too, and you were pretty adamant about, but if you don't want to trade all your best players because you still got to move forward for 2026 and 2027. And I tend to agree with you. You have to be very careful. You have to pick your spots. But the Correa thing, because of how old is he now? He's got to be 30, isn't he?
Oh yeah.
I mean, his age, his injury history. He's got the metal plate in his ankle. The money he's making. I still think this team. And it's crazy.
Well, I want the Twins to keep their solid core and their good players, but Correa is not going to live up to the amount of money you're spending on it. So there's a better way to use that money and those resources into helping the team out.
And I also think he could surprise me. He could come back and rebound and have a great 2, 3, 5 years. My guess is his better days are behind them. And even if they're not, last year at this time, we were thinking the Twins were going to win the division, right? I mean, it looked like they were going to win the division, and it looked like they had a nice nucleus of players, and things were all. And then how quickly things can change. Here we are a year later, and they're 5-6 games under 500, almost. Unless they go on some kind of a run here, they almost have zero chance of making postseason play. And you start wondering, well, how close is this team really? And it goes back to what you and I talked about for forever and ever, that your prospects that are highly touted, they come up and they show some promise and they show little spurts of being a really good player, and then people just start to extrapolate that out to got a future all-star here at every position in the field, and it doesn't always work out that way. So I don't know how close they are, but you're right, the money could be better spent elsewhere, and I think the Twins need to do everything they can to part ways with Correa. Now, you'll remember, Tenneby, it wasn't long ago that John Bonus of Gleeman in the Geek fame was nominated for a preposterous statement. He said that...
Need you to be more specific.
Well, he said that Ohtani would not be a good fit.
No, he wouldn't be a good fit here.
I will say this. He'd be a terrific fit now. Did you see what he did last night? He struck out all 4 times at the plate. He would be a perfect fit for the Minnesota Twins. Can I get a rim shot there? Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, a rare first for Ohtani. Dodger superstar strikes out in his first 4 plate appearances, which again would be a perfect fit for the Twins. Okay. Guess that didn't go over as well as I probably thought it was going to go. I saw another a baseball-related story.
By the way, Correa questionable tomorrow with a hangnail.
No.
So, yeah, the reports are he's got a hangnail, so we don't know if he's going to be able to play tomorrow.
No kidding.
Might have a splinter as well in one of his fingers.
I saw... give me 1 second here. I got another Viking one I want to get to here.
Intermission music.
No, here it is. I got it right here. Baseball, Anaheim, California, Dateline. Emotions run high as 4 Angels batters are hit by pitches in 8-5 win over the Rangers. Says the benches cleared in the 8th inning of the Angels' 8-5 win over the Rangers Tuesday night, and even though no punches were thrown, emotions ran high after the game. Rangers reliever Sean Armstrong hit Zach Neto and Mike Trout with consecutive pitches to load the bases, prompting Angels interim manager Ray Montgomery to walk toward the plate, wave his arms, and yell at Texas manager Bruce Bochy. Here's what Bochy said. I just heard the yelling and that was enough. Hitting guys intentionally was the last thing we were trying to do. I brought Armstrong in to keep them from scoring a run, but I guess we hit somebody and it's intentional, but when they hit Seager, that's the Rangers shortstop, it's not. I just thought that was enough. Now, Montgomery said his outburst was fueled in part by Neto being hit by Patrick Corbin in the first inning and Louis Rengifo being hit by Caleb Bouchley in the 7th, but he did not accuse the Rangers of purposely throwing at the Angels. He goes, you hit our second baseman, our shortstop twice, and then Trout. The only thing I said was, how many times are you going to hit a guy? I wasn't insinuating that they were intentionally doing it by any means. When that happens, everybody's angry in the moment. I was just frustrated that our guys were getting hit, and I wanted him to command the ball a little bit better. And so I don't know which story to believe. I kind of tend to believe what Montgomery said there at the very end. That it's like he said I'm not accusing him of throwing at us intentionally. Just get a pitcher out there that can throw the ball and not hit, because they're out there. Those are guys out there that have no control at all.
I thought major league pitchers could pitch 100 strikes out of 100 pitches.
If they want to. If they want to. I know you can laugh at that all you want, but that's an absolute positive. A major league pitcher can hit if he had to throw, because the reason they don't do it is because there's a guy swinging a bat. A major league pitcher could throw 100 strikes in a row if he wanted to. There's no doubt about that. But with the lack of control some of these guys have in a situation like this, where he's trying to pick his spots and he can't find the spots because he's throwing the ball all over the place. I don't think there was any intention on it, but it goes back to the discussion that you and I have had over the years of the whole idea of this. Well, if you throw at my guy, then I got to throw at your guy, right? And that you there has to be a revenge motive, and if you don't, well, then you're letting down the guy that got hit by the pitch. You're letting down your team and the organization that you're almost forced to do it. And to me, it's actually childish. It's sort of like the same thing in hockey, where you go after our guy, we got to go back after your guy. You got to drop gloves here, we got to drop gloves there, and
hockey, it'll be a clean check, and they feel like they need to come back with a fight.
Yeah, exactly. And in baseball, they seem like they get into some kind of a beanball war, and I'm not even convinced that it accomplishes what's supposed to be accomplished. And particularly in both cases, but particularly in baseball, last I checked, a baseball being thrown at 100 miles an hour, I think it's going to hurt. And if you hit him in the wrong spot, you hit a guy in the jaw, you hit him in the head, you hit him you're talking about some fairly significant injuries, so I think you're kind of playing with fire there. But it was getting testy last night, and that's the way these big league players are.
I would have thought a bat flip would have prompted all of it.
Yeah. The practice continues out there. Looks like they're working on some running drills right now, and it looks like our new running back, Jordan Mason is out there right now. We've got Jordan Mason also mic'd up for sound. Why don't we go ahead and go down to the field?
Oh, not a good look.
Pigskin kind of. It looked like he was carrying it like a loaf of bread. Is what happened there. So,
do you think that was partly a bad exchange from McCarthy on there?
Didn't look like.
Or was there maybe some sweat on the ball from the center?
Well,
what happened?
I don't think the center's derriere is quite as sweaty. I wouldn't think would be his fault. That's basically all he did at Michigan was hand the ball off. So I wouldn't think that would really
best hander offer in the league.
There's no better hander offer in the Big Ten than J.J. McCarthy. You know what else?
That was my favorite bit with Christian Ponder back in the day, because Adrian Peterson won the MVP, so you called him the best hander offer in the NFL.
Well, was there a better hander offer? I did see in the Fish Wrap Factory today a Viking-related story regarding. These are the ones where I think you're just trying too hard.
By the way, I'm going to suggest we go to break here at about 2:20, because that's when you can see the scoreboard out there. So when it gets to 2:20, once the clock goes out, then they're going to be done with their walkthrough. So I would maybe give 2 or 3 minutes after that for McCarthy to come here. But yeah, in 2 minutes we should break.
Should we break in 2 minutes?
Yeah.
I think we should break in 2 minutes.
So in case you're about to get into a long story, I was
going to get into one. Well, it was going to be one.
You've got so much material, I understand.
It was a wet blanket story. It's going to be a wet blanket take on a story that appeared in the Fish Wrap Factory West Side today regarding the Vikings, and it's like, I just think it's going to take a while. So we probably should wait on that. It's going to be one of those 1:30 to 2 o'clock things. Well, I don't think it's going to take a while. I just think you might have some interesting things to say about it. Maybe others will as well. We don't have access to the text line out here, do we? Because I miss the Bradshaw and Bryant KFAN text line. But if we don't, that's okay too. We're expecting Keenan McCardle, Vikings wide receiver coach, longtime National Football League player. He's got not one but two big game rings. He won one with Washington in his rookie season, and then he also acquired one when we played for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We're going to talk to him about Vikings in general, but specifically, I guess, wide receiver room of the soon-to-be big game world champion Minnesota Vikings. J.J. McCarthy, the quarterback, he is scheduled for a 1 o'clock Q&A with the media outdoors here. And so we're going to kind of juggle it's going to be one of those, we're going to probably juggle the two a little bit, Getter. It's
a fluid situation.
That's the word I was looking for.
It's fluid.
It's very fluid, but probably what we'll do is we'll end up having McCardle here in a couple of minutes, in 3 or 4 minutes, and then from there we will record we'll get it off Twitter, wherever they have it on the Vikings website, whatever it is. We'll find the interview with McCarthy, because I think it'll be interesting to hear from what McCarthy has to say. So let's go ahead. Let's take our break. We'll come back. We're broadcasting live. This is live from Twin Cities Orthopedic Performance Center, Vikings training camp.
JJ's working out over here.
Is he?
Yeah, he was doing some exercise over there by the cones.
His Jets, not Jay. You're confusing me. It's JJ. It's Jets.
He's JJ.
It's Jets is working out by the cones. So let's pause. Return live from Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center. It's our continuing coverage of Training Camp 2025. Live from Egan, right here on the Fan.
In the heat of battle, your squad relies on you. Don't let them down. Unlock elite gaming tech at Lenovo.com. Dominate every match with next-level speed, seamless streaming, and performance that won't quit. And push your gameplay beyond limits with Intel Core Ultra processors. That's the power of Lenovo with Intel Inside. Maximize your edge by shopping at Lenovo.com during their back-to-school sale. That's Lenovo.com.
Lenovo.